You budgeted $60 in gas for the Vegas run, filled up in the valley, mapped the strip, felt good about the trip. That number is wrong, not by a little. In 2026, driving your own car from Los Angeles to Las Vegas can cost up to $266 one way once every real expense is counted. If you drive I-15 for weekend trips, if you're arguing with your family about whether to drive or fly, if you own a Camry or a Tesla or a pickup and you've never actually run the numbers, this is the math you've been missing. The surface arithmetic is where most people stop. Los Angeles to the Strip covers roughly 270 miles up Interstate 15, and the main route carries no tolls. On July 5th, 8AA reported California regular gasoline at $5.38 a gallon and Nevada at $4.57. A generic 25 miles per gallon sedan uses about 10.8 gallons to cover the distance. Weighted across both states, that comes to $56.81 in fuel one way, or about $114 for the whole car round trip. The fuel figure changes with the vehicle. Every 2025 Toyota Camry is now a hybrid, rated at 51 combined miles per gallon. The same 270-mile drive costs about $28 in gas. A Tesla Model Y leaving home with a full charge in California, where residential electricity averages 33.75 cents per kilowatt hour, uses roughly $22 of power. Charging on the road at Tesla's 96-stall supercharger in Baker brings the figure closer to $31. The Interstate 15 corridor is not an EV charging desert. Tolls are minimal on the standard route. Interstate 15 itself is free. Drivers who use the 91 express lanes to bypass Orange County traffic on a Friday afternoon can pay between $15 and $20 for that segment alone, with rates that adjust every 3 minutes. AA publishes an annual study called Your Driving Costs. The 2025 edition, released in September, reports that fuel accounts for only 13 cents of every mile driven. Maintenance, insurance, registration, finance charges, and depreciation add another 43 to 85 cents. All in, a small sedan costs 55.87 cents per mile, a medium sedan 66.37, an electric vehicle 71.21, and a half-ton pickup 98.54. Applied to a 270-mile trip, that translates to $150 in a small sedan, $179 in a medium sedan, $192 in a Tesla Model Y, and $266 in a full-size pickup. Depreciation alone accounts for $4,334 per year, the single largest line item in vehicle ownership. Larger vehicles push the figures higher. A Class A diesel RV at 8 miles per gallon uses about $213 of fuel one way. A diesel Ram 2500 pickup, tested at 18.8 miles per gallon in real-world conditions, uses about $95 each way. Neither figure includes campground fees or destination parking. Flying produces a different set of numbers. The cheapest recent round-trip fare from LAX to Harry Reid International was around $106 on Frontier. Southwest's basic one-way ran $121. Checked bag fees on Delta, United, and Southwest rose to $45 online and $50 at the airport in April 2026, an industry-wide adjustment. Frontier's checked bag runs as high as $79. LAX Economy parking for a 2-day trip totals $70. An Uber from Harry Reid to the Strip runs about $26 each way. The per-head math determines the outcome. A solo traveler with no checked bag pays roughly $228 to fly. 2 people flying pay $334 total, or $167 each. A family of 4 pays $564 or $141 each. Driving the same trip costs $114 round trip in gas for the whole car. That works out to $114 for a solo driver, $57 per person for 2, and about $28 per person for 4. Flying is only cheaper for a single traveler booking a rock-bottom basic fare. With 2 or more passengers, driving costs less. With a family of 4, the gap is substantial. The time comparison is closer than most travelers assume. Door-to-door, Driving takes about 5 hours and flying takes about 4 hours and 40 minutes. The flight saves roughly 20 minutes. Historical context sharpens the picture. In 2016, the same 270-mile drive cost $31 in gas at California's then average of $2.91 per gallon. In 2021, it was $46. Today, $58. That is roughly 85% higher than a decade ago. On July 1, 2026, California's gas excise tax rose to 63.4 cents per gallon, the highest in the country. A potential alternative is under construction. Brightline West high-speed rail running from Rancho Cucamonga to Las Vegas in 2 hours and 10 minutes at speeds up to 200 miles per hour. The estimated opening fare is $119 one way for standard service. Project costs have risen to $21 billion and revenue service is now scheduled for late 2029. Until then, Interstate 15 remains the primary route. The practical takeaways follow from the math. Driving is cheaper than flying for 2 or more travelers under nearly all conditions. Fueling in Nevada rather than California saves roughly 80 cents per gallon. A hybrid brings the fuel cost down to $28 for the trip. Electric vehicle owners can charge at home before departure at residential rates. Travelers who fly can reduce costs by skipping the checked bag, choosing Frontier or Southwest, and parking off-airport instead of at LAX Economy at $35 per day. The most consequential figure remains AAA's finding that fuel is only 13 cents of every mile driven, while the other 43 to 85 cents reflects the fixed cost of owning the vehicle. The gas tank for LA to Vegas costs $57. The car itself, applied to the same distance, costs up to $266. Hit subscribe if you want the true cost of your next trip before you book it. Drop the route you want us to break down in the comments.